Hello, Planarets. Thank you so much for joining me. My alarm is going off to say I'm going on live right now. How are you? Thank you, Brenda. Nice to see you in the live chat. Now, have you ever wanted to try hand lettering but felt overwhelmed? Well, in today's live lettering session, I will take you with me as I practice my own hand lettering. Look, let me just tell you, I am not a pro. Far, very far from it. Okay, so what I want to do is just show you the things I do and hopefully impart with you some of the things I have learned along the way. So, but because if you are starting out, sometimes it's actually nice to see someone else who's just maybe half a step in front of you or a step in front of you. So then that way you don't feel intimidated that, oh, how can I be like the experts? How, I've seem so far away from where they are right now. And then sometimes what happens is you give up because you just, the step from where you are to where the expert might be is just the gap is too big, and so you feel intimidated, you have comparison, and then you don't do anything. Hello, Susan, nice to see you. And Cindy, hi, thank you both for joining me. Thank you so much. All right, so just to let you know, I am not an expert. I haven't actually been doing a lot of hand lettering in my own planner because I write small, and I just use sort of like highlighter to make my headings bold. But if you do want to practice hand lettering, geez, that's hard to say. Today we're going to break down the basic strokes of hand lettering, practice together, and have fun along the way. So then by the end of this live stream, you'll understand how to create thick and thin strokes which are needed to do the hand lettering, and why lifting your pen off the page makes all the big difference. Hello, Stephanie. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Planets assemble. Hello, hello indeed. Hope everyone is doing well. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to grab a pen and paper, and we are going to get started. Okay, so here's the problem, and why a lot of us are here to watch me practice is a lot of people want to try hand lettering, but they feel intimidated by all the perfect polished lettering they see on Instagram, on YouTube, on Pinterest especially. And I know I did when I first dabbled into hand lettering a few years back. And I thought, that you had to have the fancy pens or years and years and years of experience. But guess what? All you need is a lot of patience. Yes, you will need a lot of patience and just a lot of practice. But the good thing is, the patience and practice can be a self-care opportunity. I love to make sure we find all these different ways we can put me time back into our planner and schedule intentional moments where we are looking after ourselves. Hello, Ronnie Cat. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. So glad my lovely plannerette enthusiasts are all here to keep me company. Okay, so the reason you need a lot of practice is because you need to build the muscle memory. Because hand lettering, the strokes are different from your normal handwriting, especially if you cursive write. So hand lettering is not cursive writing. So cursive writing is when you do not lift up your pen off the paper. So this one is hand lettering letters are made from a number of different strokes put together. Okay, so where cursive, like I said, you keep the pen on the page. Hand lettering is built from separate strokes, so you are allowed to lift up your pen, and each letter is made up of this individual movements. So you do a stroke, lift, stroke, lift, stroke, lift. Okay, so just remember that. So if you've been trying to figure out how to do hand lettering and you're like, oh, it doesn't look right, it's not flowing right, that could be the key. So just imagine each letter is made up of number of different strokes. All right, so um, Ronnie Cat is there as well. I think I've said hello. I just want to make sure because I know I'm probably going to take a lot of time doing the drills. So I want to make sure that I cover as much as I can because homeschooling has been moved to the bedroom. They're kind enough to move to the bedroom. So again, I am imposing on their time. So I want to make sure I cover as much as I can. So each letter is made up of individual movements, which is going to be good news for those of us, who are new to it, because we're going to have a lot more control with each stroke rather than trying to, especially with Bridgerton coming out, and you see all these beautiful script and penmanship in those TV shows. And so it's very different to that, okay? So that's exactly what we're going to practice today, just the foundation to help you get started. All right, so if you are here in the live chat, make sure if you are practicing along, if you have a brush pen or even just uh, a pen handy. It's just getting used to, if you're not sure of, how you're forming the letters, it's a good practice to know how you form your letters, what are downstrokes and what are upstrokes, because those are the things that make the difference between thick strokes and thin strokes. Again, I just want anybody who pops back in here during the live or during the replay and go, why is she teaching hand lettering? I'm just showing you how I practice. Again, I'm no expert. I would probably be classified as a newbie, a beginner, and I haven't, like I said, practiced for a long while. But I know one of the things I said I wanted to do in 2025 is add more creativity and joy in my life as part of my well-being and self-care, and because I love handwriting already, and I have lots of pens, markers, and highlighters, the two activities go well together. So let me bring you to my desk and we're going to first look at pens. All right, speaking of pens, let's first talk about choosing the right pen for beginner hand lettering. Now, there are a lot of YouTubers out there who are expert in it. They sell courses on it. So if you want to go deeper into that, of course, go ahead. I think so, a couple of the ones that I have looked at is Ensign Insights and How to Hand Letter. So those are two YouTube accounts that I know I've looked at in the past to when I'm practicing my own hand lettering. Okay, so let's look at pens. Now, if you're just getting started with hand lettering, the right pen can make a difference. Do not fall into the same mistake I did when I first started hand lettering and buying all the different pens and markers way before I even started practicing, thinking it's the pen that will make my handwriting beautiful. Okay, so expensive pens or the ones that you see the expert use that, they have already mastered the craft. So, what I need to do is make sure you are practicing how to form the different strokes. And you actually don't need the expensive tools, just something that's going to help you control your strokes easily. So it has to fit nicely and balance in your hand. So here's what to look for. Okay, so brush pens versus pens. So let me just use my Tombow Fudenosuke. I hope that I'm saying that correctly. Okay, so brush pens. Okay, so these have flexible tip. So the tip right there is flexible. I'll show you once I start drawing on paper that they actually bend. All right, so it's probably best to see the Tombow dual brush pen. The brush tip is a lot bigger. So if you want to practice, bigger hand lettering, then you want to pick bigger brush on the tip. Okay. So brush, the tips, and majority of them will say that it is a brush pen, because some may look like it's a brush pen, like the tip is, similar to a brush, but they're not flexible, which is going to be difficult to create the different width strokes. Okay, so the brush pens have flexible tip that allows you to create the thick down strokes and the thin up strokes when you put pressure on it. So when you're writing and you're putting pressure, the tip of, so if you can imagine that's the brush, it'll bend. Okay, so that's a brush pen. Now, regular pens, like your normal, you know, pens like this, or any gel pens or anything like that. So pens, if you find that this may start, you know, the brush pen may start to be intimidating as your first run at, you know, just practicing the formation of your letters, then just start with a pen and just practice the strokes without having to worry if they're thick or thin. And so this is a good start. So whatever you have right now, just start with that, because we're going to practice the strokes. And so once you start to know what the strokes are, then it'll be much easier. Because I know when I first started doing the brush, I got so frustrated. It didn't look like what it was, you know, on Pinterest or on the YouTube channels or on Instagram. And then I gave up, and then I bought more. Bought more pens, brush pens, thinking it was my tool, when in actual fact it's just me needing to practice and build that muscle memory. Okay, so you can start off with just a normal pen. That way you start to form the letters and shapes first. So beginner friendly pens. Okay, so if you're new to lettering, you might want to go for the smaller tip versus, so these are your smaller one. All the links are in the description below, so make sure to do check that out. I have listed the ones that I'm going to show you here today. And so these ones are smaller tip versus the Tombow normally would be considered like the bigger brush, or you can have, you know, bigger ones like this for sign lettering, for big maybe chalkboards. Okay, so if you're new to brush lettering, go for the small or medium brush pens, because they're easier to control. And so here are some good ones. So Tombow, Fudenosuke, soft and hard tip. I think the blue one is I think the same one. The blue one is the soft tip. So can you see the difference in the barrel? Okay, so the blue one is the soft. Let me just double check, because I never know. Yep, soft. Oh no, the blue is the hard. The blue is the hard, the black is the soft. Okay, so some people say they do prefer the soft tip, some people prefer the hard tip. It's going to be up to you. That's that one. There, Fudenosuke also, I think, comes in the jewel tip. So one is black and the other one is gray. Okay, so they're good ones to start with because they have small tips, brush tips. Another good one is your Pentel soft brush sign pen, so, or soft tip. Let me show you. So this was my problem when I first started, because I saw everyone using, you know, the Tombow big size. That's what I practiced with. And of course, when I tried to write smaller lettering, the big brush, you know, it was hard to define the thick stroke and the thin stroke. So these ones are your Pentel soft brush sign pens. Let's do the comparison. Okay, pretty similar. So for the Nosoke, these ones I think only come in the black that I know of, but these come in multitude of colors. So if you want pretty hand lettering, you know, headings for your days of the week, for your months of the year, for your to-dos, for your tasks, these ones are good, because then there's so many different colors. All right, so Pentel soft touch or Fude touch, they're a little bit more flexible. Again, still beginner friendly. And then we move to the dual tip Tombow dual tip brush pens. So they're much bigger brushes. And then of course the other side, you also have the fine tip if you want to create some thin headings as well. All right, so just have a think when you are thinking about, you know, which size brush tip pens. All right, how big are your hand lettering? So if you're going to create big hand lettering, like, you know, your months of the year, you know how I do the, let me have a look. You know how I do my headings for the weekly setup. So these ones, so you might want to go for the Tombow dual brush pens because they're bigger. But then if you want to do little headings on the top of your, the days of the week of your columns, then you might want to go for the Tombow Fudenosuke and the Pentel Soft Brush Sign Pen, okay? Oh, and just a little tip as well. So don't, especially if you are buying the Pentel online, there are markers that look exactly like Pentel markers that look exactly the same. The barrel is the same, but can you see how this brush, this like it's sparkly. The lid and the barrel is sparkly and glittery. So and it does say sign pen, or the Japanese version says touch. Okay. So just be mindful that if you do see similar Pentel, if the barrel is not shiny or sparkly, they're just normal felt tip. So they're not going to be flexible and they're not going to bend with pressure. All right, because I think I never bought it, but I know people have fallen. Goes, oh, I bought the wrong ones. They're not going to. When you apply pressure, the tip is not going to bend because it's not flexible. All right, so let me know if any of you already have these markers in your pencil case or in your pens and markers stash. And for those of you that maybe don't know if you're going to like hand lettering and you don't want to spend anything just yet, especially if you haven't practiced, the drills, guess what? The Crayola super tips or any Crayola markers, now they are not brush tip. Okay, can you see? Not brush tip at all, but because the tip gives you an opportunity to have broad, see the side of it will give you broad strokes or thick strokes. If you place it on the side, see how nice and thick that is? And then if you place it sort of more vertical and then just get the tip of the pen, it'll give you the two different strokes, thick stroke and thin stroke. So this, a lot of the experts also use the Crayola super tips or any of the Crayola markers. Even the silly scented ones are good as well. Just look for the tip of it being like that. So then the side can give you broad stroke and then the tip can give you thin stroke. I'll zoom in a little bit more once I've gone through all the different markers. So let me know, do you have any of these markers already in your stash or any type of brush tip? Because like I said, when I first started dabbling into hand lettering, I nearly bought everything because I thought it was the marker that would make my hand lettering beautiful and perfect, when in actual fact, it's the artist. The artist needs to put in the work and needs to put in the practice and needs to put in the drill. So there are many types of brush tips that you can find. I mean, look at this Pentel. This is, I think this is out of ink. But look how pretty that, it's nice and thin. So this one is actually good for a lot of the Japanese characters, right? So that one, I even bought, I think this is Pilot. Is this Pilot? Pilot. So another teeny tiny brush. So that's another one. So if you want to make really, really small hand lettering, that's good. And then I also bought, dupes. So just so these ones are from, just a stationery store. So again, they're much thicker or longer. So these are good for big size hand lettering. So I'll try and do some hand letterings to show you the difference. So it's going to depend on the size of hand lettering you want to do. But if you're just practicing, get a small to medium size rather than a big one. And then again, this is just another another dupe. So, just from your local stationery store. Okay. Brenda says, yes, I have so many markers. Oops. Lisa says, yes, I have several brands, Ronnie Cat, Tombow, Gel, and Crayola. Yes, so many pens, exactly. So who out of all of you who are here so far, who is great at hand lettering and just want to, see how I go. Because if you already practice hand lettering, or who would like to see more, more practice drills, and sometimes, you know, picking up tips and tricks from a newbie, because you might have been doing it for so long that sometimes if you forget the foundation. So this is a really good opportunity. So those are the pens that I will use today and just practice with. So that's really important. It's just choose a pen, small to medium if you're just starting out. And the Crayola Super Tips especially, they're budget friendly, because sometimes the Tombow, if you want lots of different colors, they, for here in Australia, they're about $7 to $9 per marker. And so it can add up when you want to buy the different colors. Brenda says, I need more practice. And remember, this is a great mindful activity, so which is good. All right, so next, the other thing you will need, okay, is paper. Paper is very important as well. Try not to make too much noise when I'm dropping the pen on the table, because the mic is connected to it. So it's really important when you're doing hand lettering to use smooth paper, either marker paper like this one. So I'll go through individual one, or high quality printer paper, because this is going to prevent the tips of your brushes, especially if you have the more expensive ones. So what happens to the tip if the paper is not a smooth or high quality one, or is not made specifically for hand lettering or marker? The edges of your the brush tip, they will start to fray, because the quality of the paper, if it's not high or it's not smooth, it's not going to be like sandpaper. So essentially what's going to happen is the smoothness of the brush tip will get compromised, and then you won't have a nice smooth lettering. So that's what I found. Is I was practicing on just normal copy paper, the ones that you get in the big boxes, that's 80 GSM, and it's probably quite rough because you're just printing schoolwork. So that's what I was practicing on. And then I found that these little the hairs of the brush started to fray on the side. So paper is as important for when you are hand lettering. So avoid rough printer paper, as it can damage the tips of your brush. And so really, really important. You just want to start simple. And so this is a Rhodia paper in the sort of like notepad, and it's got the dotted grid on it. So then that can help you, practice your hand lettering, and it's a nice, smooth, a little bit more expensive. It also comes in this spiral version. Let me see if I can show you some of this was a long while ago, I think, some of my hand lettering practices. Okay. Me trying to do different flourishes, doing my drills, doing the different strokes. So it's been a while that I've done this. And this is all, yeah, it's just practice, because all you're doing is you're doing muscle memory. Okay, so you can buy the Rhodia paper, that especially if you do have, the more expensive brush pens already in your stash. I think this one is just a report pad from Daiso, and it's okay. It feels a little bit, there's a little bit of friction, so it might be a little bit rough. I printed so these are my grid paper that I have in this store. So it just helps you line up all your letters and your strokes. And I think this is a 160 GSM, so high premium quality paper, and it is nice and smooth. But if you just have a composition book around, that is fine too. But just make sure that if you have the more expensive markers, that maybe practice with a different marker, or practice with a different pen. All right, so let me know, do you have nice quality paper on hand to practice on that has dot or grid marker. I'm going to practice on, I think, my grid paper. So if you just have any paper along, and I'll keep these handy, so I'll swap from time to time the different marker that we have. All right, so let's go and practice some of the strokes. So really start simple, okay? If you feel the brush pens feel tricky to start with, then just use a basic pen or even just a pencil and practice the fundamental strokes. So really, it's just the muscle memory, all right? Down strokes, up strokes, overturn, underturn. I'll show them each individually as we go through. But if these start to feel like at the moment you go, I'm not getting it, Mary Ann, because that's how I was at the beginning. It's like, why can't my thick strokes look different from my thin stroke? They all look the same. So practice the fundamental and the basics with just a pen or a pencil. And then once you're comfortable, then you can switch to a brush pen, and then that's when you can start to focus on pressure control. All right, so let's see if I can do this. I'm going to do 2 cameras so then you can see side view and top view. Let me see, fingers crossed it works. Here we go. All right, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Now I made sure I did my nails because they were looking, I just layered nail polish on top of the old one, but hopefully, ooh, they're looking nice because I know you had to do a big close-up. So I'm going to start with the Fudenosuke Tombow, and I think this is the black is the soft tip. All right, so the soft. Okay, so this is a good one to start with. So what we're first going to do is start with the basic strokes. Okay, hi Elle, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you being here. So we're going to go through step by step and start with the basic stroke because this will form every single letter in our hand lettering. So let me pop the label first. All right, so downstroke, as the name suggests, is we're going to write down. Okay, the downstrokes, you need to press down with more pressure, so then it gives you a thick stroke. And I like, when I do my hand lettering, I go and say, you know, I speak the word out loud. So when you do the downstroke, make your voice low, so it's low and thick. Down, so you're like putting a lot of pressure. Down, down, down. Okay, so that's all you're doing with your drills. Down. Now, I like, for those of you who may have been following me, I like things up and down, perpendicular, you know. So normally when I do my hand lettering, I do not like to have it with a slant. But I know for my hand, it doesn't seem natural. Okay, so but you practice the way you would normally write your hand lettering. Okay, down strokes. Okay, so down, down. Can you see? I don't know, is it going to let me focus? Maybe it's let me see if I can. I need to have it closer. Why is, let me see if I can get my camera sorted. Bear with me. Bear with me. I'm going to move that here. So then it's a little bit more in the middle. And then this one. Is that better? Let me see. Now I can't see my screen. Ah, where did you guys go? Okay. I think that's better. So if you see when I do the down, the brush bends a bit. Oh, it's not focusing. I don't know why it's not focusing. Focus, focus, focus. Maybe it's too close. Sorry. It had focus before, but I'll show you with the Tombow. See, that's why I knew. Okay, so this is a much bigger brush. And if we can see on here, when you do the downstroke, see how the, I know. I think because I need to have it at this angle. Okay, see how the brush is becoming flexible. Sorry, I'm trying to see why it's not focusing. Bear with me, because I'd like for you to see, really see. Let's see now. Maybe this is better. Maybe this is better. Okay. I had it all fine, but then it got moved. I think this might be better. I think we're getting it, people. Thanks for your patience. So the pen, the brush bends, okay? So just make sure when you're doing your downstrokes, now I'm all off, people. Marianne is getting rattled. Okay, so let's start again. So down, 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 down. Okay, so downstroke is thick down strokes. Okay, and just practice that. Down. Let's do the smaller one. Down, 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 down. Okay, so practice. Downstrokes are thick. You press down a lot harder. All right, are we good? We'll do more, 4 more letters later. So that's the first basic stroke. The next one is, guess what? Upstrokes. And then when you do that, sing up, light. So then you want to say up, up, nice and light. So very little pressure on the paper with your pen. So whether you are doing it at an angle, very light. Okay, so you're going up, 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 up. Okay, so if we put those two together, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so really just mixing it up, down, up. And sometimes you really have to concentrate because you go, oh, where am I doing again? Am I doing light pressure or up pressure? Down, up, down, up. You know, you can even move your body along. So then pressure, light, pressure, light. So if you want to do it straight, then you can move your paper nice and straight. Okay, so we go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, upstrokes, good. Give me a thumbs up if we got both the downstroke. Down is thick. Up is thin. Okay, thin, thin. Up and down strokes. Are we good so far? Down, thick, up, thin. All right, so just make sure if you are practicing, and sometimes I know when I first started practicing, I'll be like down, and then it's like, oh no, your up is the same, you know, so it's just muscle memory. So you are just creating, it's just really the pressure. So just know anytime you do when you're forming your letters, parts of your letters, any down strokes are thick. Any upstrokes are thin. Down, heavy pressure. Up, light pressure. Down, up, down, up, down, up. So this might be boring, all right, when you're first starting out. But if you get this right, then when you start to form your letters, you don't even have to think about it because your muscle memory and the habit starts to form. Because of course when we're normally writing our, let's even say you know, if I write in capital letters, let's say Marianne, right, because it's, first of all, it's a thin nib, and I'm not changing the pressure, and because, you know, I don't need to when I'm writing normal handwriting. But when it comes down to hand lettering, it's really important that down, heavy pressure, up, light pressure. Down, heavy pressure, light, up. Down, up, down, up. Okay? Good, good. Thumbs up. All right, so then that's nice and easy. All right, so for those who are new to hand lettering, just know your first few strokes will look wonky. They'll, you know, some of them might like the down and then the up might look the same. Down, on, all right. So practice, practice, practice. So do lots of down first and then lots of up, but mix them up, because then that's when your brain has to start thinking that you know, okay, what do I need to do again? So those two so far. Okay, so if you mess up, it's normal because just know that you are going to mess up, and that's normal. Even the experts tell you that when they first started, that you know, they didn't get it right. And even when you are not you know, thinking of it consciously, sometimes you go, oh, because you might think you're writing normal, you know, normal letters, and then you go, oh, I made that all the same thickness. All right, so just be real, know that you're going to mess up, you know, and you'll see I'll mess up once I start forming letters. I'm going to mess up during this live stream. So we've done the downstroke, upstroke. What's next? This is the fun bit. I love this bit. So this is the overturn. I just want to make sure. So the overturn, okay, we're just trying to put it in the middle. Okay, so we're going to go up and then down. So imagine this as an arch. Okay, so an arch, because we're going up first and then down, we're going to go thin, thick, thin, thick. So light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy. All right, so how does that look on the page? Light, heavy, light, heavy. So you can see on my pen here, right? So very light, just the tip of the pen, and then I'm putting a lot of pressure, right? And then pressing, so then the tip of the pen is like bending. Okay, so light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy. Again, light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy. Let's practice that with a bigger tombow. Okay, so light, heavy. And it's actually nice to get that ASMR where your brush squeaks. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm going to be quiet for a second. Because essentially, you're dragging the brush on the paper. Okay, light, heavy, light, heavy. I'm going to try and do it not at an angle. Light, heavy, light, heavy. So then, you know, the form of the arch, so see here, it's more at an angle, it's so pointy. So it's going to be up to you later on, once you start practicing and going, oh, actually, I like that my letters are not round, my overturn is not rounded at the top. Once you know the rules when it comes to the strokes, then you can break it, right? Then you can do the pretty flourishes. Then, you know, you might go, you know what, with this particular letter, I want that the upstroke to be thick, or I want the downstroke to be thin, right? But first, know the rules, so then you can artistically break them your way. So if someone goes, oh, why is your, you know, your downturn there thin? Because you go, because it's my lettering, okay? So that is overturn. As the name suggests, you're going over, like over the bridge, okay? So make sure I'm always on screen. Light, down, light, heavy, light, heavy. So light, I'm saying light and heavy as in pressure on the paper. I like the overturns because, you know, you get to really see the flourishes, the flowing, the letters dancing on the page. Okay, so next is, as the name suggests, underturn. Okay, so it's just opposite of overturn. So we're like like a dip or a valley. Okay, so let's start off with our smaller tip pen. So this is the foot in a socket. I'm gonna try the blue one, which is I think the hard. All right, so let me see. So we're going to go for the underturn because it's downstroke, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light. Okay, because down is a lot of pressure, up is little pressure. Down, up, down, up, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light. As you can see how sometimes my understroke, it's thinner and it's more pointy. So again, just depending on the letter you're going to form, or a lot of the underturn are the flourishes or the end of a letter, you know. So, what was it? Heavy, light, heavy, light. At an angle, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light. Let me know who is practicing with me as I go along. Heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light. Okay, let's do the bigger marker. See, sometimes when you have to start again, you have to go and refocus. Heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light. If we want it up and down, heavy, light, heavy, light. Or you can even think of it as bending your brush. So bending, touch, bending, light touch, whatever you need to say to yourself to go and tell yourself the type of pressure to apply to your page. Heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy. People are probably going, what is that lady going on? Heavy, light, whatever you need to say to yourself. And you know what? This repetitive nature of the drills, it's a mindful activity because you have to really focus on the moment. So if any time you go, your heart rate, right? Anytime your heart rate is going fast and you're like feeling anxious, feeling overwhelmed, grab a piece of paper, grab your brush pen, put the timer on for, let's have a look. Put the timer on for 1 minute, okay? 1 minute, and just practice. Downstroke, 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 downstroke. Upstroke, 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 upstroke. Overturn, 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 overturn. Underturn, 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 underturn. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Even slow it down even more. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Overturn, underturn, overturn, underturn, overturn, underturn, overturn, underturn. Down, up, overturn, underturn. It's loud like a dance, isn't it? It's like having to, oh, there's my 1 minute done. And if I was doing it fast because I wanted to see if I could do it fast. But if you just do it slow, that is a nice mindful activity. You're focusing on something. If a thought comes to mind, acknowledge it. Okay, I'm feeling really anxious. Let's go and do some drill hand lettering practice. Just put it on for a minute and that's it. If you have a book, close it, put your marker, and then see how you are. And if your heart rate is still a little bit fast, maybe do another minute. How nice is that? All right. So Stephanie is doing the drills with me. Yes, Ronnie Cat, Alice, loving all the hearts. All right. So just in 1 minute, we were able to do that. And what a good practice. So you're being creative, you're being mindful, and this is self-care. There's no guilt because you're being creative. You're going to do, you're going to perfect, a skill. And this is just like if you were doing dance, right? This is a skill. And what's important too for our mental well-being, right? Keeping our mind, active, because you have to go, okay, overturn, underturn, right? So isn't that wonderful? Just in the activity of hand lettering, it's not just creative, it's not just artistic, it's not just for our planner and embellishing it, but more importantly, it's for you, you and me. And boy, I need this today. I needed something like this because my heart rate's a little bit fast. My mind is racing, trying to figure out. And that's why I saved this just for this time. And it comes at a perfect time because I need to. I've acknowledged the feeling that I'm feeling. I just need a break to just slow down my heart rate. All right. So let's keep going. I'm practicing, but my downstrokes are thick too. Yes, downstrokes are hi planata. I plan at a time. Oh, I plan at a time. Oh, that is one plan at a time. Even better, one plan at a time. Hello, is this your first time? Wonderful. Downstrokes are thick too. Yeah, downstrokes are thick. Upstrokes are thin. Downstrokes are thick. Upstrokes are thin. And so I want to make sure that I welcome. Way! Let me just make sure my music, and let's do the welcome again to one plant at a time. Susan said, I'm not very good at varying the line weights. Not very good if you are a beginner. If you are a beginner at anything, would you say you're supposed to be good at something? No, we're going to change our mind, our dialogue, and so instead of saying I'm not very good at varying the line weights, I am practicing my line weights. Okay, I'm practicing how to vary the different strokes because we have to start changing the dialogue that's in our mind, and that's only through practice. Because look, if you haven't, and of course the pen that you have, this is, remember I said at the beginning, the pen that you have will make a big difference. Let's have a look at the Crayola. Is this the Crayola? So remember the Crayola again. I'm going to put in the the Crayola, of course, there's no it's not a brush, so there's no actual flexibility in the tip, okay? But it's the way you hold your pen. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit so you can see how I hold the pen. Okay, so see how it's at an angle? Then that means the side of the pen gives you the thinner, and then you lift up the pen, and then it's the tip. And so you put it more at a, see how it's an up and down rather than side to side? So if you thick, sideways, thin, thick, thin, down, up, down. So this one, even though there's technically the pressure won't make a difference because you're putting it more of an angle, it's still good practice to go thick, also down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so with practice, yes, it is. Hello, one plan at a time. Nice to see you. So yes, Susan, not that you're not good, I'm a beginner. And we all know beginners are not, are not good at something because they've just started. All right, so I love that. I use architectural lettering in my everyday life. Oh, I love architectural lettering. It's so beautiful. And so I watched all the different fonts of those too. I think from time to time I try to change my normal writing to the architectural lettering, but because they are a bit wider, and I write small in the smaller size planner. They take up too much space, but I love architectural lettering. All right, so we've done downstroke, upstroke, overturn, underturn. So what is next? Compound curve. Oh, this is when you, like a little snake. like a little snake. All right, I'm going to show it with the Tombow. So then that way, the bigger one. And then just so you can see first, I'm going to see if I can be on camera, on camera for both. All right, let me just now, I've just got to zoom in a little bit on this one. So then that way. Okay, yep. So compound curve, so as the name suggests, we're going to combine overturn and underturn, right? So overturn and underturn. So just think first, overturn and underturn without picking up the pen. So overturn, remember, is up, down, up, right? So compound is up, down, up. Okay, so up, light, down, thick, up, light. Okay, so let's do the bigger one first. Up, down, up. It's so cute. I love this one. It's like a little snake or a little cute one of those wiggly worms, right? So up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so see how sometimes there's difference there. This looks more like a V. That's okay, because all we're doing is practicing our muscle memory. Up, down, up. It's like a little roller coaster. I'm not good at these. No, L, you are practicing, okay? You're practicing because this one, even there's gonna be letters and there's gonna be strokes that you're not, you're the way, because also it's the way your hands glides across the paper, right? And so also the way it's your pen. So let's try. I wonder what a smaller brush tip will do, because then it's smaller, smaller strokes, and then it's smaller. So let's see what a small compound curve looks like. Up, down, up, down, up. Okay, and here's the thing. When you're not making any markings, when you're doing the line and it doesn't make any markings, do you know you can go over it? I always just used to think, oh, I'm not good. Let's say I do I'm going to go back to the thicker one just so you can see. Let's say I do a downstroke. Okay, so, a downstroke, yes. Okay, so, no, an underturn. Right, so an underturn is that one. Okay, so we go down, and what if I see how it broke, and then oh no, do you know you can just go over it? That's what a lot of the hand lettering people, let's say, let's do what's a good one? Go. Okay, so let's say oh 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 no, oh no, right? Let's say go. That's, you know what they do? They go back over it, right? Or they'll make it thicker, or they'll make it smoother. You can go over your own lines. You only see everyone else's is because you only see the finished product. But when they're doing their practices, they might go, oh no, oh no, my downstroke. So you know what they do? They just fill it in. They just smooth it out. Okay? Or they might just go over it again. You won't know that because all you see is the finished product. So this is where we need to start removing the, oh, mine's not good enough compared to theirs, because you don't know what they did to fix theirs. You don't know any editing that we might have done to the picture, or little, Photoshop, make it all nice and smooth. Okay, so please, first of all, if you are new to hand lettering, you're not going to be good at it, because you've never done it before, or you've never had the practice, or you haven't done the drills. It's the reps. Just think, when you first rode a bike, did you balance on it right away? No. Okay, so just make sure that all it is while you're watching TV, or we were in compound curve, sorry, we're in compound curve, right? If you're watching TV, you can and you don't have to concentrate too much on the the storyline or the clues on the screen. You can go and practice. So this is compound curve, and it is up, down, up, and slow it down. Hand lettering is not your, cursive writing, where you are writing really fast, really fast, and you gotta try and get all the letters done very quickly. Okay, no. Hand lettering is an art form of taking your time. Up, down, up, up, down, up. Okay, so just know that. Just know. I was really wanting to learn hand lettering, so thank you for your time and effort. Oh, yay! At first I went, oh, anybody can watch all the experts' videos, right? But I was saying earlier, let me know if you're happy to share your first name one plan at a time. It'd be lovely. But I can call you. Maybe I'll call you one plan. Okay. I was saying that sometimes when you watch an expert and you're a beginner, you can get intimidated because you go, how am I going to get from where I am to where they are? And then that can stop you from continuing because we do, a lot of us do the comparison, just like mine's not good enough. And, even the words that a lot of us are saying here that we're not good at this yet. We're not good at it yet. We just need to practice. Okay, so my name is Trena. Trena. Let me know if that's the right pronunciation. Hi, Trena. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you being here. All the love from the Plannerets community. Okay, so what was they saying? Compound curve. Up, down, up. Up, down, up. Okay, so really, really important. Okay, so that's the compound curve. Compound curve, as the name suggests, is we have combined the upturn. And so upturn, normally you would just stop, and we've combined the downturn. Okay, so what we've just done is we've curved it. We've made it into one. We've gone up, down, up. And the compound curve is you just got to slow it down a bit, so it gives you an opportunity to lift up the marker brush off the pen again. Oh, guys, I love Trina. It sounds like Trina. Okay, Trina, like Katrina. Yes, Katrina. Beautiful name. Yes, indeed. Okay, so take your time. There is no rule that this is not cursive writing. We are not making it things fast. Thank you for welcoming me. Yes, my pleasure. All right, so that's the compound curve, a mix of both up, overturn, and underturn. Overturn and underturn. See, even I am getting my names confused, okay? So, of course, people, if you are liking it so far, make sure to hit that like button. And so then that way, it tells me that you are having a good time. It also tells YouTube that we are having a good time, and hopefully more of us can join together during moments like this. And of course, if you haven't yet subscribed, do that too and hit that bell. For those of you that are new here, I am doing a personal 30-day mindful messy March challenge where from March the 1st to March 30th, I'm showing up in some form, whether it's live stream, podcast video, or a recorded video here on YouTube. And so far it's been all live stream, because live streams are a lot easier for me. I don't have to edit, and then I get to enjoy your company as well. All right, so if you are practicing along with me, let me know in the chat. I know some of you already have. And if you have any questions, drop them in the live chat, or if you are watching on replay, in the comment section. And I'm going to do my best to answer. If I can't, I'll find the answer and come back, and who knows, maybe do a quick video about it. All right, let's keep going. So what's the time? It's nearly 2 o'clock. Okay, over here in Sydney, that is. The next one is the ascending loops. All right, I'm going to start with a fresh page here. Ascending loops are used in letters like H and Y. Oh, well, yeah. So ascending, make sure I have my all my notes here. So ascending loop, what we're going to do is we're going to go have a little, so this is essentially what we're going to make sure that I'm on the screen. So we're going to do a little loop and down. Okay, so it's like a squished P. It's like a squished little big what do you call it? Capital P. But so ascending loop. Ascending? Yes, ascending. Because we're gonna go up and then down. So this one we're just going to create a little loop because we're going up and then down. Okay? Up and then down. So normally these are like for the top of your like H, you know. So let's say H. Okay, so that little, and then you just added that little flourish there. So ascending loops, we're going to go up, loop over, and then down stroke. Okay, up. These are not my favorite ones. I don't like it as much because I'm, I don't use it as much. And so, and they're not the best sort of like flourish wise on paper. I like my curves. I like my compound curves and my upturns because they look cute and tiny. All right. So then, of course, if you are doing it a nice up and down, so what you're going to do is we're going to up, ascend, and make a loop, and then down. Light loop and down. Light loop and down. See how it's all different? That's okay because you're not going to have, all these next to each other, are you? When they make the different letters, like no one's going to go, oh, well, that one is a little bit more fatter than that one, or that one looks a little bit more squished. When you're doing the drills, yeah, you might go, oh, they don't all look uniform, but they're not supposed to be twins. They're just relatives, cousins. You know how they say with eyebrows. They're not supposed to be twins. They're supposed to be cousins. Is that what they say, Elle? Elle, for those of you who may not know, Elle has a skincare and hair and beauty skincare channel. So, yeah, eyebrows. Not supposed to be sisters. They're supposed to be cousins. Okay, so ascending loop, loop up and then down, loop up and then down. Okay, so then that one's done. And then guess what's the next one is? It is descending loops. Take that off, descending loops. And these ones are for your Y's or your J's or your G. So it's the tail, the bottom. So if you can think of ascending loop for your H, so it's that one. For your K, that one. If you want the K to have a flourish like this. K there. See, K is not one of my favorite letters to write because because this bit is hard. Do I do upstroke or downstroke? And so I break the rules with that one. So I just make it whatever looks nice. So we're now going to do descending loop. So remember this one, we're going to descend this time and then create the loop. So downstroke and up, downstroke and up, downstroke and loop, downstroke and loop. So if you can imagine doing a J, doing the G, doing the Y. So descending loops are your tail, right? So the little tails that you have for your Y's, G's, and J's. Okay, so down, up. Let's do a cute little one with the Pentel Touch. Okay, so tiny one. So again, the size of your brush tip pen will depend on the size of the hand lettering you want to make. Down, up, down, up. See, I didn't form that one well, so I'll just go over it. No worries, nobody will know that I didn't do that all in one stroke. And you know what? That's what the expert do. See here then? they just go over it. And here we are thinking they do it all in one stroke. No, they also, I know now that trying to go and do this loop at an angle, it's a little harder for me when it's on the slant. See, it's just the way your muscle memory, the way your hand is holding the, and I think, let me just double check. Am I writing with my with this part of my hand, or am I moving? So I'm not moving my wrist at all. I have my wrist, and let me see if I can zoom out a bit here on the side. And where is my, see, I'm resting the, what do you call that? The side of my hand. I'm resting it. Okay, let's see. Can we see? And I'm off camera on the other one. So it's really this bit that I'm moving. So I'm not actually moving my hand on the page. Okay? Because we are not cursive writing. So cursive writing, we don't lift the pen off the page. Hand lettering, we're doing it stroke by stroke. Okay, so let me see. Let me just zoom in again so it's just a little bit closer. Okay, so all we're doing is stroke, 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 stroke. I'm just doing it fast. Stroke, stroke, stroke. Okay, and then all these ones will make the letters. Okay, so let's quickly have a look. What's next? So ascending and descending, and now the oval, right, which makes up a lot of the letters. Whoops, ascending, and we are now to the oval. Oval strokes makes up your A, your B, part of your C, your P's, your G's, lots of things. Okay, so I'm going to do, let's use a different Tombow. What color Tombow? Let's do the 192, which is, I think it's asparagus. Asparagus. I like this. This is one of my favorite. I think this is my third 192. So what are we doing? Oval. Okay, so normally with oval, you'd think you'd start at the top, right? So let's just say this is the lines that we're going to go and write on. So normally when we do our O, we start here and we go around like that. Because we are not creating downstroke and then upstroke, we're going to create thick stroke and then thin stroke. If you start up here, it doesn't look, it looks funny. I actually start my O's at the top, but if you want to have that nice sort of like form of the thin and then this, the thin, thick, thin, start it, if we can look at this as if it's a clock. So let's just say that's 12 o'clock. That's 12, 1, 2. Let's say 2 o'clock. Okay, so that's where it'll start on the page. So we're going to do our oval here. And then we'll get, because we're going up, it's light. And then down. And then light. Oh, that's pretty. That's a good one. I like it when I do a good oval. All right, so we're going to start, if we, let me just see. Okay, so this is where I'm going to start, top of my O. Okay, so I'm going to start at 2 o'clock, not at the 12 o'clock mark. If you can see the 12, 1, 2, oh, 12, 1, 2. Okay, so just a little bit down here. And then you go light, press hard, and light. Light, press hard, and light. Light, press hard, and light. And because it is an O, give yourself a little bit of space over here so when you go around, you're not touching the next letter. Tell me which letter or which stroke is your favorite. So far I like the compound curve and I like the oval, because you can really see the thickness and the thinness of the letter. And it makes me look like I'm a professional hand lettering guru. Okay, so let me know. Now the upstrokes and the downstrokes, you know, they're the easiest, but they're just normal up and down strokes. But the the upturn, underturn, and compound, and I think I like all the O. How funny is that, right? Because I like to, when I'm writing, I write in uppercase because I like the lines of the big letters or the upper letters. And I find that with the lowercase, because you have the A's and the B's, there's more roundness to it. My eyesight is sort of going, oh, they're not all uniformed, all right? But when it comes to hand lettering, I like the curves. I like the curved strokes because you can really see the different thickness. Okay, so there's the O. Let's try. My O looks thick all around. Okay, let's try. Let's practice with the black pen together, Trina. Okay, so, and again, it's just practice. So you might be, when you do drills, any hand lettering drills, you may not, you don't have to practice the downstroke, upstroke. Just practice the certain strokes that you are not as happy with. So let's see if we can have a look at this camera here. Okay, so this camera, so as you can see, I'm going to do it real slow. See how my brush is just touching it, and then once I reach the top of the line, I'm going to press. Right, it's broken there because I slowed it down. All right, so once here, it's just the tip of the marker. I'm going to press and then lift it back up once it gets closer to the bottom of the line. Again, so at 2 o'clock, light, and then start to press, and then lift it up again, and then go up. And then light, down, lift, and up. Okay, light, down, and lift. Okay, maybe you might want to start with the bigger letter, so take up more lines, just so then you can practice the lightness and the heavy pressure. So see here, once I start making my oval bigger, my stroke looks much better, but here it looks like it's a side part, right? A side fringe. So maybe to start off with, if you're not liking your oval strokes and it's a smaller, try and do a bigger. So instead of here, I just did 2 grid lines. Let's do one, 2, 3. So start off with, just so then you can get the strokes formation. So here again, if we look at this camera here to the left, I'm just going, so first I'll do it on not touching the paper. So see how it's just going to be the tip of my marker. Once I get up to the top of the line, I'm going to press hard, and then just before I reach the bottom, I'm going to lift it again and then light. Okay, so let's do that. Try and do it in slow motion. Okay, so light. I'm going to start pressing heavy, and then I'm going to lift up the pen and then light. Light. Light, heavy, light. You can even do the, like soft voice. As my son will say, Mum, soft voice, you're too loud. Right, so light, heavy, light, light, heavy, light, light, heavy. And again, if your formation of your letters and strokes you're not happy with, it might not be you. It might be you're not as, might have been frayed, or, it no longer has a point. Okay, so just make sure, just see if you have a different, oh, and here's the thing too that I found. See, these are the things that you find when you're doing all these, and we start to be critical of ourselves and we think it's us, when it might be the system, right? Whether it's your planner, it might be the system that you're using, or the way you plan, right? It's not you. It might be your tools, because these two are fairly new. Both of these I just bought. But the way the brush is made, one could be softer and one could be harder. So here I am, I could be going, like you said, Trina, oh, my O's are not as good. But then if I find a different marker, maybe it looks better, because maybe it's more flexible, or maybe it's harder and I have more control of it. Okay, So let's see what my O looks like here. See, I actually like the asparagus O, because then I might be applying the same pressure, but then the way the brush bends might give the correct thickness. So just always make sure before you criticize yourself, it might be the marker and not you. And here we are thinking, oh, we're not good at it, when in actual fact, like what it's, let's say you have a car and you want to drive a fast car, you want to drive fast, and then the car is just an old one, but let's say you don't know anything about cars, and you get into a car and you go, I want to go really, really fast, and it's an old car, or it's a car that only goes up to a certain kilometers or miles per hour, and then you go into those sports cars, the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris and all that stuff, and then that goes and zooms, right? So it's not that you can't drive fast, it's the vehicle or the tool you're using. So before you go, I'm not good at something, change it up, change your marker and see how it is. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the 3-camera setup. All right, so let's see so this one is the Pentel Touch. Okay, so smaller brush pen, and I'm going to go and do straight up and down rather than slanted oval strokes. Okay, so just be mindful that before we criticize, look at that O. What happened to that O? Because then I wasn't paying attention. The one I'm using is a Sailor Shikori brush marker, which is new, but I'm brand new to this. I'm not sure if you were here earlier. I bought lots of, when I first started a few years back, I bought every type of marker thinking that it was me, right? So I bought the ones that I saw the experts use, who have had lots and lots of practice and experience, right? And so I'm thinking, oh no, that's not good. So then I think I also have somewhere a Sailor somewhere as well. I don't know what no, that's a Pentel. What's this one? This one, oh no, this is a Pilot. So let's see, this one's the teeny tiny one. Okay, let's have a look at my oval. Okay, so this one, even though it's tiny, the brush is so much softer than the Pentel soft touch brush, and the softer than the Fudenosuke. All right, so I don't think I popped this one. I'll make sure to pop this one, but it is in my Amazon pens, markers, and highlighters. So it's the Pilot one, and I don't know what that says in Japanese. I think it's also a Fude. I don't know what Fude means, but I'll find out. Okay, so there we go. So just make sure that it is, or you need more drill practice. That's all it is, because it is harder, because essentially you're not lifting up your marker at all, are you? From here to the 2 o'clock, down to the side, and then up. So that's a lot of movement in one stroke. So that's all it could be. It's just a matter of, well, what's the best way? Now, I said earlier, right, so that when you do your oval strokes, try and start at the 2 o'clock mark rather than the 12 o'clock mark, if we're thinking of this as the points of clock. Okay, so that's 1, 2, right? So start there. So that's top of your line, bottom of your line. But guess what? I like to start my O's at the top, because I like the squished look. So let's see, let's do moon. Okay, I'm going to use this one. Okay, so moon is downstroke, overturn, and a little so stroke, overturn, compound, and then I start my O up here rather than here, because I like the point. I like that it's pointy rather than it's curved. And then I do that, and then do that, downstroke, compound curve. So if you want to have the little tail, okay? Or if you want the moon to have a nice leading in tail, you will do an overturn. Overturn, overturn, compound curve, up, down, whoop, oval, oval, downstroke, and then compound curve. But see how this, the Tombow jewel brush pen, okay, and then I have taken 2 lines, and technically the line, this is what I used to think, the thin stroke for me, like when I first started, I went, oh, that's not as thin as what I saw the experts do, so I mustn't be good, I mustn't have made it thinner. It's just the brush tip that I have. So if I try and do the moon, write moon in small letters, it's going to be a lot harder to see the different size strokes because it's right. So don't think it's you, it might be the tool you're using. Let's see what moon looks like. So overturn, overturn, compound curve, oval, oval, stroke, compound curve. But you don't have to be thinking what curves it is, right? So if I went like this, let's say moon. Okay, so if I went downstroke, overturn, overturn, and I went, oh, I want to join it, I could just do this, right? It's not like, oh no, I didn't do this, the connection. Or if I want to have this to have a leading tail, I might just do that. You can make it up any way you want, because once you know the basic strokes, like let's see, I don't know, let's do, I'm not good at flourishing yet because I haven't practiced. Let's do this is all over the place, but I'm proving a point. Oop, and then I want to do the whoop. All right, I want to do all these flourishes. I can if I want to, and I can just join it. It's not that, oh no, I didn't do an overturn for the beginning of the letter, or oh no, I didn't do a compound curve. It doesn't matter. You can join it up. So let's say we did this, we wanted to do a compound curve, right? So that's the up, down, like a snake. Let's say we did this. Oh no, I wanted to, look at that. See how the thickness, because I wasn't thinking, right? The thickness is pretty much the same. So I'll go, all right. And that's okay, because once you've written it down, like, okay, let's just say moon. I think I'm doing it. I'm confused with my downstrokes now. But when you see that on my paper, okay, bar the, the layering, you wouldn't go, oh, she did her underturn incorrectly, or her overturns are all the wrong thickness. It's like, oh, you would think that that was cool. You would think that that looks pretty, right? So it doesn't matter. Know the basic foundations. So then that way, I've got an itchy nose. That way, you can break it. And the best thing is breaking is really great, okay? So let me know, for those of you that have tried hand lettering, what's the hardest part for you? So then maybe we can do a separate video where we just practice, different words that have those strokes. So let me know in the chat, if you are here, what part of hand lettering where you're doing the different thickness and thinness strokes, what's the hardest part for you? If you're looking at your hand lettering right now, which one is it that's not so maybe pretty according to, just the way you're looking at it? Remember, it's just probably practice. Okay, so there's my all my down and up strokes. Yeah, that's okay. It's just up and down strokes, nothing fancy, right? So for me, I'll probably, if I do drills, I probably won't do the down strokes and up strokes, because it's like, okay, this is my overturn, okay? And this is my underturn. Make sure I'm saying all the right names. Overturn, underturn. Just make sure, or else someone's going to go, those are not the names, Marianne. Okay, so because I'm still practicing myself. So overturn, over like a bridge, underturn like a U or a valley. Okay, what else? So probably for me, maybe I need to work on my understroke. Is it understroke or overstroke? Let me have a look at my list. I've forgotten. Underturn. Turn. It's a turn. You're turning. Okay. Overturn and underturn. All right. Okay. See, I'm getting confused myself. But at the end of the day, have a little label next to you so you can practice and go, these are, because I'll show you what I have. See, this is mine. Okay. Downstrokes, upstrokes, overturn. See, that's why I got underturn. That's where I confused myself. Okay. And then there's the compound curve, ascending loop, descending loop, and oval. So you can have that at the beginning of your book as your little key. All right, so Elle's loving it. Thank you. And so let's make sure we have. So let's do some practice. So let's do the ones that we use the most. All right, so I'm going to go with the one camera because I'm probably giving myself like vertigo going, oh, I'm getting confused. I am going to zoom in. So let's do some practice. Which one can we do? Let's practice first with the pentel, and we're going to do days of the week. Or maybe no, I'm going to do the Tombow, so it's bigger. So I'm going to take 2 grid lines and I'm going to do it slanted, okay, at an angle. So Monday, I'm just going to do a downstroke. And where's my list? Where's my list of names? Okay, all right, and then an overturn. And then I'll probably do a compound, all right? So that's and under, and do that, okay? And then remember, I'll practice my oval starting at the 2 o'clock point. Light, heavy, light. And then have a little tail like that, so then it'll join up. And then a downstroke, okay? And then a compound curve, so up, down, up, okay? An oval, okay? And then I will do a underturn, but with a higher up here because of the D. Okay, Monday. And then an oval. See how it's just the letters are formed by combining the different strokes. And then an underturn, and then an underturn, and then this is where we're going to do the descending loop, down and loop, and then I'm going to continue that there. Woot. All right, so Steph says so much fun. Trina says ascending and descending for me, and I agree, Stephanie. This is fun. Woot. Okay, excellent. All right, so this downstroke, overturn, compound curve, oval. Downstroke, compound curve, oval. A little bit of a underturn with a much higher because you have for the D, oval. What is this one? That one is underturn, descending loop. And I was lifting up my pen all throughout. Okay, so Tuesday, we're going to do an underturn, but then start higher because it's a T, so we want to have a higher start. Okay, and then I'm just going to do a line, and then look, I want to make it higher, then just join it up. Looks good, thanks, Elle. Okay, and then we're going to do an underturn, Did you know a U is an underturn and an underturn? That's right, that's all it is. Now E, okay, this is E. I'm not as good as E yet because I need to practice more. But E, let's do the line here so you can see. Okay, so E is a little bit different because you're going to start sort of like a ascending loop. Right, you start it with an ascending loop, so you go woo, and then pressure, and then it's like an oval, and then up. Okay, so it's a little bit, and you need to start somewhere. Don't start too close here because you need to have the E, the curve of the E. So maybe start a little bit further where you would normally. So it's like an ascending loop. So see how the top of the ascending loop. So it's like an E is an ascending loop that turns into an oval. Okay, so we go ascend, loop, and then like that. And see how it's not joint there? That's okay because you just do that. Now S, you can do S differently. So you can do S just as normal. So you're going to go light, heavy, and light. You can do it like that, like a snake. Normally what I do is an upstroke. And then what would I call this one? I don't know what this one is. And then I do it like that. So an upstroke, thin, and then down, and then loop. I guess it's sort of like a descending loop. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to connect keep going the E and the light stroke, and then we're going to go thick and thin. Okay, and then an oval, and then a understroke. So that's all you're doing, is you're just connecting the letters. See how I'm lifting? And if you want, see, I'm not too fond of the Tombow because I won't be writing that big. I'm going to go here, the camera settings, so you can see me lifting up my pen. I'll try one Wednesday. Is this too zoomed in now? Yes, it's too zoomed in, Marianne. And then this one, I'm just going to where is my camera, people? Where is my camera? Okay, so Wednesday, let's do this one. Okay, we're going to do it smaller. So Wednesday are a lot of understrokes. Okay, so W understroke, and then you can add a little tail there, and you can add a leading tail there. Okay, and then the E is like an ascending loop that turn into an oval. So my E's aren't as good yet because I don't practice it as much. I can do that later. An oval. Whoop, see, I didn't join that. That's okay, I can join it and just finish it off there. And then where downstroke. So with the N, let me put it aside here. With the N, you can just have it as a downstroke and an overturn or a compound. Okay, or if you want it's an overturn, you can start it like that, and then a compound curve. It's up to you. Again, sometimes I may make my N like this. It just depends also on the letters next to it. Okay, because with the O, the tail starts up here, so I can't have it start the tail down here. So it all depends. So this is where, yes, know the rules, but then know when to break them when you're going to go and write your letters. Awareness, lift, oval. I won't know the names when I'm writing them down now. So, okay, lift. Can you see that on the other one? Okay, I think I'm too zoomed in, that's why. Sorry people. Wednesday. Okay, and then like that. Well, my Wednesday, you know what? I'm not as thrilled about it. That's okay. I'm going to practice. Okay, let's even try with the Crayola. So my son, they're doing outside here. So what I might do is I might just put myself on mute for a second they're doing their uh, whatever they're doing. All right, hang on a tick. I'm just gonna put myself on mute and I'm going to write. Okay. As you can see here with the Thursday, I was using the Crayola marker, and because I wasn't moving my pen sideways or pointy, they're all the same. But that if you saw that on my page, you wouldn't go, oh, her hand lettering is the thickness, and right. So when you start to look at yours and then go, oh, my thickness and my thinness, you can't differentiate between the two of them. It doesn't matter, because that is still like you may decide, you go, you know what, to this, depending on the marker that I'm using, it's okay. Right, so I'm just going to put it, so I'm just looking at my husband is trying to get something out of the packaging without making noise. All right, so let's have a look again. Where's the lid? I don't know where the lid of this went. All right, so then let's use okay, this one is I think the soft for dinner soke. Thursday, Friday. Okay, so Friday is what is Friday? What's that one? So this one is just trying to see what Friday is. Friday is a different loop to begin with. See, the F is a different loop. So this one is your downstroke, and the loop is at the front. So I guess it's descending loop, but the loop is at the front instead of the back. And then you can just go whoop. Okay, so here's the R. I do like my R's, which is like this one here. And so normally the R's, again, R's are difficult because it starts up here and you're not connecting anything. So normally I just do my R's like that, and then I'll connect it with a, so see how certain letters, when you're forming it next to each other, so here, because the U starts from the bottom, I can easily connect this R together, but because the F here, so you have to be sort of like, okay, how am I going to do Friday? So you just go, I don't know which line I'm on now. Okay. And look, while I'm writing all these together, when I'm forming my letters, you can't really, oh, see my Y there. Look, what happened to my descending loop? It's okay, right? So look, like for me, I know how you guys feel when you're doing this, because for me, that I would go, you know what I'll do is I would just go and I would, let me see what it'll do if I put a correction tape. This is a Muji correction tape. Okay, so that one, let me see, because I am using a marker that's pigmented. Of course, that's correction tapes are slippery, slidey um, uh, text, texture. So let me see what, so we're going to go downstroke and thin, and just make sure to make that dry. See, look, you can't see that correction tape. Or you can even do, you know, put a sharp, a washi over it, or cut a piece of paper. I've done that where I'll cut, a piece of paper from a corner of a scrapbook. I'll glue it and then I'll write over it. Really, if you're not liking it, you can always glue paper over it. Maybe the correction marker might smudge later down the, oh no, it doesn't. Ooh, okay, so there you go, everybody. The Muji correction tape, and if you use the Tombow Fudonosuke marker over it, if it, just make sure to let it dry before you touch it. So Friday, look, because I'm doing it all different, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. All right, so Saturday, I like the blue one better. I find it's easier. Let's see if I write Friday again with the blue Fudonosuke. All it is just taking your time and probably not talking at the same time. Talking at the same time. Not sure about the blue one now. Let's try again. Let me try again without talking. The black barrel. I think I like for the Fridays. See how different, exactly, well, not exact, different pens make me write differently. So before, again, you say, oh, I'm not good at, or that stroke doesn't look good. It's just certain letters, when you're forming them all together, it might just be a little bit harder. It's just because the D, that D next to that I may be harder to form than I am when it's next to the N or next to that S. All right, so it's just because the formation of the letters next to each other, and you sort of don't know, this R here, I start at the top, but then the R there, I connect it from the bottom. So once again, practice the certain words you're going to use more often. And for me, I know the days of the week. Let me have a look at this tiny on Friday and Saturday. So Saturday. Oh, I like the Pentel one. See how I'm just lifting up the marker each and every time. Oh, I like that one. Sunday. So again, the S you can do this way. I'll do Sunday a different way in a second. Oval. Downstroke. Oh no, they're not called downstroke, are they? Underturn. Oval. Sunday. Oh, let's see the different colors. All right, so that's how I normally would do my S. So let's do S this way. Okay, see, like a rattlesnake. But see how here, so I would have gone heavy and then light. Okay. Night night, Elle. See you again tomorrow. Okay, Sunday. And then you can just, so if you know that I know a lot of people will write today, you know, like today's task. So you can do today. Okay, today. Okay, to do. To do. Okay, right, so practice the words that you're going to use most often. All right, so that's how I would do my hand lettering. It's just practice the strokes and then have a look and just, you know, judge yourself, get yourself a pen and then just go, okay, look, I'd like to practice my underturn and my overturn more, so practice those most, you know, and then just go, well, look, my ascending and descending loops, they're not the best, but I don't want to practice them because, you know, once they're at the end of your Y's and G's, they're going to look good. On its own, they may not look as pretty, but then once you've connected them to the right letters, then they might be good. And then you go, oh, my O's aren't as good. Practice your O more, okay? And then practice your name, practice the things that you're going to write the most, practice your children's name, whatever, and they'll practice a sentence, you know, a particular quote, you know, like the keep calm, things like that. So really remember, hand lettering is not cursive writing. The key is lifting your pen after every stroke. So don't try and write the whole letter in one go. Let me see. Right, so A, okay, A is not that, right? I didn't pick up my pen at all. A is an oval and an understroke, underturn. Okay, and then M is a series of either down strokes and overturn and compound. All right, so it's not, M is not, all right, I didn't lift up my pen. M is a series of strokes. You lift up your pen. Okay, so just know, hand lettering, you lift up your pen. It's not cursive writing. You're not trying to form the letter in one whole flow. You are building each letter piece by piece and each word stroke by stroke. And remember, your strokes don't have to be perfect. The goal is not about perfection, it's progress. The more you practice, and just look at it as a way to have your me time, self-care. Do it while you're watching TV, that, you know, you don't really have to concentrate on what's on the screen. But the best way to improve is keep practicing and have fun with it. No stress, no pressure, just creative moment to enjoy and help slow you down, give you a little bit of space, especially if you're not feeling as well and that mind is, you know, going 100 miles an hour. All right, so that's it for today's session. I hope this helped you feel more comfortable with the basics of hand lettering. And remember, I am a beginner just like you, and so hopefully we can get better each and every time we practice, each and every time we pick up the pen, and each and every time we put a little bit of me time for ourselves. Remember, it's okay to be a beginner. We're going to learn together. Let me know if you're watching on replay, or you come back and watch it again. Let me know in the comments if you want more real-time practice along with me, sessions like this. Would love to really get your feedback. We can practice on different other things. Just give me different ideas, because I've got more days to go with my 30-day Mindful Messy March challenge. So I've got a few more ideas, but I want to make sure that I'm really providing value, entertainment, and a lot of just our time together and giving ourselves that little bit of permission to have a break. Remember, self-care isn't selfish. Thanks for joining me, everybody, and I will see you next video. Tomorrow's video will probably most likely be a podcast video, so I will probably tape that today and just upload it tomorrow. Just give me a little bit of rest time and just recover, and then maybe back live again on Thursday. So don't miss out. Make sure to join me in the Plannerets community, because that's when I upload when I'm going to be on. So fun. Thank you. Oh, I love it. Thanks, Marianne. Oh, girls, you have been fabulous. I will see you next time. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.